Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are live. Welcome to Professor and Friends. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Professor and Friends here on a smoking hot Thursday. Rich and I were talking earlier about we're not ready for the heat and the mosquitoes and the ticks. We're just not ready. Spring always seems like it lasts for a day and then it turns hot. But I have with me tonight somebody I've followed for a long time on Instagram, and you can find him yourself at Rich Ivey 82 on Instagram. His quote on there is, "If you ain't weird, you're weird." Rich, appreciate you joining me, bro.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Well, Rich, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let everybody know who you are behind the man, the myth, the legend of the Rich Ivey 82. What's going on with you? Who are you?
So my name's Rich. I'm from Southeast Alabama. We right here in the corner, Dothan, specifically the peanut capital of the world.
Uh-oh.
If you want to get specific. But yeah, I do work for an energy company down here. Doing that for probably 3 years or so. But I've always been into camping since I was way younger. It's only been maybe 8 years since I married the two trucks and camping together. But
Yeah.
Call it what you will. But yeah, we've been living out of trucks and that kind of thing for a better part of 6 years for sure.
Wow. That's cool. Well, I know you've got two really cool rigs, 4Runner and old 60 series. What made you decide to go with those rigs over everything else that's out there?
So funny story. The 60, the vehicle I had before that was a 2011 C350 4MATIC Mercedes.
Okay, that's different.
Little different than a 1987 Land Cruiser. But I was at this wedding with a girl I'm friends with, and this crazy storm came through and blew this Bradford pear over and crushed my car. Crazy. Like I had the thing for 4 months. So that happened, and I just kind of saw it as a sign, So I had been in love with the 60 series since I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And I'd actually found a replacement for my Mercedes, but the insurance company was taking forever cutting my check, and they finally cut it. And the day before they cut it, the car that I'd found sold. And I was like, all right, well, this is fate. I'm buying a Land Cruiser. And I had been eyeing this one up in around Anniston, Alabama. And I talked to the guy, and he was like, yeah. I was in Nashville seeing the Rolling Stones with a friend of mine. And on the way back, we stopped by, and I drove it, and I was like, well, this thing is coming home with me. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's here. many doll hairs later.
So you've owned this for how many years?
Coming up on 6.
6 years. And what have you done to it since you've had it?
Oh God.
Man, you don't have to go into everything.
Yeah. I have 4-wheel disc braked it. I upgraded the clutch system with steel braided lines and a beefier master cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the Old Man Emu 2.5-inch heavy lift on it, and then I've also got the shackle reversal in the front, and with that and the extended shackles in the rear and airbags in the rear, I've never measured, but I believe it sits about 5.5 rear. But with 33s, I have stupid clearance.
Yeah.
I could, once this V8 swap, because I re-geared to 456s and I've got a locker in the front. Once I re-gear, I'm a little worried that I may have too much gear. But I did upgrade from the 4-speed to the 5-speed. And then we built a drawer system for the rear. Got an air compressor, a 2,000-watt power inverter. I mean, I built it to where I could go to the beach and literally make daiquiris with a blender.
Oh, that's awesome! Heck yeah!
Battery and all. She's something else.
That's cool.
Very easy on the eyes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, those 60 series, as we were talking before, they're the bee's knees. I think they're the best thing that Toyota's ever came out with. The most beautiful Land Cruiser that's out there, and they're becoming extremely rare. And if you could find one that's in decent shape to buy, you almost have to sell one of your children to be able to afford it because they are extremely pricey. It's unbelievable how they hold their value. I'm just totally impressed with them. Now, we've got quite a few photos here from some trips that you've been on. We're going to continue with our theme of the best trip ever. Rich has been on some amazing trips all over the United States, and we want to talk about that. But before we talk about that, we want to pause for station identification. Stand by.
I'm Aaron with Switchback Outdoor Safety.
I'm Rhino from Rhino Built Rod and Custom.
Fun, it's Adam at Step 22 Gear.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah from Overland Pioneer.
We're Harley and Jessica of Live with Wander.
Are you just rolling? Jeff with Bad Act Adventure Co.
Porter from Autotronics from West Virginia.
Chris from More Expo.
Jordan from NSM Overland.
And we're here with the, what is that, Professor?
You're watching our favorite Overland.
Professor and Friends.
Professor and Friends.
Professor and Friend.
Professor and Friends. You watch the Professor and Friends.
Professor and Friends.
And you are watching Professor and Friends.
That's exactly right. And at my age, you need to be reminded of what you're doing. And so that's why I play that, to remind me what I'm doing and where I'm at. So here we are again with Rich Ivey, who has pretty much seen a lot of places. So I just want to roll through here and go through some of these pictures that you sent to me. I sent you a message and asked you if you want to be on the show, and you were like, heck yeah. And I was like, cool. And you were like, cool. And I said, send me some pictures so we can talk about where you've been. And so you just tell us about some of these places that you've been. Is this back in the early days of the 60?
Yes, that was right after I had the lift and everything put on. Shortly after the first, we rebuilt the motor, the straight six, and it just, I guess I got too much stuff in the truck. She's just fat. She needed a little extra oomph. But yeah, that's back in the early days. That's actually in Apalachicola National Forest, just south of me, and it's actually just west of Tallahassee.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
That's actually this past rally up in Uwharrie. That's Jim right there behind the camera. That I have awesome pictures because thankfully I drive pretty photogenic vehicles. So
now up in Uwharrie, that's where the Bigfoot is supposed to have lived, and I've never been there, and my wife refuses to go there because she believes that it was born to come after her and eat her, so she won't go up there. Now, have you ever seen the Bigfoot up there?
Not there, we haven't. That's actually funny because this past New Year's we camped over in DeSoto National Forest, which is it's in north of I-10 in Mississippi, above Biloxi. Well, apparently there is supposedly Bigfoot that lives there too, and to the extent of there's a group that goes out and goes hunting for this thing.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
But look, I like anything that you can't explain. That's the coolest to me.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we didn't see anything. But I mean, I had 2 Dobermans with me too. So
yeah, that may have been a good deterrent. Have been a good deterrent. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's believe it or not, that's Maine.
Up in Maine, I believe that.
That's Acadia National Forest, or National Park. Sorry.
Okay. Did you take this on a hiking trail or at a campsite or an overlook or
on a hiking trail? Like there's all these little trails that because it does basically a loop through the park, and wherever you can hop out, and they've got trails everywhere. And we just happened to. I think somebody told us about this one.
Okay.
But we eased in there to it, and I mean, yeah, that doesn't look like
cool. Super cool. I've never been to the Northeast, but I definitely plan to go.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, the people are different. You know, I travel a pretty good bit, but I don't know. It's like people aren't used to my accent, I guess.
Well, I'm from Arkansas. I think we talk about the same.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The only thing that we probably don't have in common is love for Nick Saban, but that's okay. We'll get past that.
No, War Damn Eagle.
War Eagle, baby. War Eagle.
That's what I went to school in.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, that's good. That's good.
But yes, sir. So that was at the summit of Mount Washington. That was back in 2016 with Mountain State Overland. We did 2 weeks, 1 week in New Hampshire and 1 week in Maine. And it was crazy. It was stuff I've never seen before. Like,
that's super cool.
Now
this is a picture of your Forerunner.
Yes,
that you take out. Now tell us a little bit. You've got 2 rigs that are highly built. How do you decide which one you take where?
Well, now it's always the Forerunner because it runs. Well,
that's easy. That makes it easy.
Yeah. But once the Cruiser is up and running again, the Forerunner is more so for long, like really long distance when I want to be pretty comfortable. I mean, because it's a 2003 with a 4.7 full-ton four-wheel drive. It's got a 3-inch Toy Tech lift with basically everything that LFD off-road makes: sliders, hybrid front. It now has a full rear, and then also the roof rack and all. But I love that truck. I mean, in my opinion, it's probably not the prettiest of the Forerunner generations. That being said, I would venture to say it is the most efficient. Because that V8, the full-time four-wheel drive, God, man, it is an animal.
I have I've been looking for one of those. If you can, and a lot of people don't realize that Toyota put V8s in 4Runners just for a very short amount of time. They didn't do it for very long, and that's why a lot of people are moving over to the Lexus GXs because they like that V8. But if you can find one of those 4Runners during that year with that V8, man, you've got so much more motor than what these V6s have. It's
So
incredible. I didn't realize it was full-time four-wheel drive. Do they come from the factory like that?
It does. Yeah, I've got high and low range, and then a center locker. I'm gonna probably, because I've got. It's funny. So whenever I put new tires and wheels on it, I'm used to 33 1250s on a 15-inch wheel. You know, that's easy. I understand that math. All this metrics trash with, you know, like 285, 75, 17s. Now I know what it is.
Yeah.
But it took me dicking up pretty good to figure that out. You know?
That's exactly what I've got on my rig.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, okay, so the 285, that'll just be a little bit fatter, so I'll have more on the sides. No, that means it's essentially an inch taller. So now I have like more or less a 34, and I scrub, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. You know, if it's not one thing, the other. But you know, it's part of it. Yeah,
Beautiful shot here. Looks like fall weather. All the colors in the trees.
Up in North Georgia, we back in 2019. That truck was in the CVT booth at Overland East at the Mud Fest. If you
I remember that.
The weekend before that, we had been, me and Derek and Derek Alzer he started Southern Xpeditions, but Derek and then Matt Aikenhead from Blue Ridge Overland Gear, we'd all been at the what's it called? Georgia Bushcraft Gathering.
Okay.
Watkinsville, Georgia. It's a cool little event. It's small. It's nice, and it's one of those that is small enough you can still have a big time and not feel overwhelmed. But we'd been there, and I'd taken the week off, and we just we left there and went north and messed around until the next weekend, and Overland Expo East was here, and that was through some of our wandering. I believe that was somewhere right around Clayton, Georgia.
Okay.
But
very cool. That's a beautiful spot. Beautiful spot right by a river.
Yeah, it's killer up there. Killer.
This looks like at the beach.
Yes. So that was last June. Looking back, I honestly don't know what in the hell I was thinking. Camping on the beach in June. Have I completely lost my mind? I really haven't figured out what I was thinking, and that's the God honest truth. But before, I mean, it was great. It really was great. And had the wind never stopped, it would have been fine. But the last night we were there, about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, the breeze completely died, and the sand fleas came out.
Oh man!
Oh my God, we got destroyed. It was one of those, like, you would have thought I had chicken pox had you seen me afterwards.
My goodness. And where's this at? What beach is this?
So this is Cape Lookout, North Carolina. This is the most, the southernmost island on the Outer Banks Island.
Yeah. National Seashore.
Correct. Yes, sir. It's a good spot. I want to go back when it's a little bit later in the year, like October or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to swim, but you wouldn't have to worry about bugs, and it'd still be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the only thing you have to worry about, and as my wife and I went beach camping in October down in Texas, it's probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and the weather was just beautiful. It was so beautiful. But then about 3 days in, we live in the internal parts of the United States, so we don't even think about hurricanes. And so I didn't never even had looked or anything like that. And so the last night we were there, I don't remember what hurricane was blowing into the Gulf, but when we woke up we went to bed that night. Great story. We actually had an Oz tent back then. We're sleeping on the ground, and so my vehicle, we were about 75 yards from the water's edge, and the Oz tent was behind my vehicle. And during the night, a vehicle went by, and I thought he was going to run into the front of my vehicle. I was like, why are they driving so close to my truck? And we got up the next morning and saw where the water had come to the front tires, and the wind was just blowing like crazy. We took everything down, and on the way out, the water was hitting the pylons and going up over my vehicle on the way out. And I was like, get me the heck out of here. I don't want to be anywhere near this place. So yeah, I want to go back beach camping in the fall myself, but I'm definitely going to be paying a little bit more attention to the hurricane charts. I'm more of a place like this. I want to go out where there's red dirt.
Yeah, Mars. Yeah, that was Valley of the Gods.
That's a great spot, man. That's a great spot.
It is. It really is. That's I think it's northern New Mexico. We had so this is the very end of, we went over and did the southern portion of the Utah Backroad Discovery Route. And that's where this was taken. This is the last night that we camped, like on the trail, so to speak, was the Valley of the Gods. And then from here, we went on to Flagstaff and camped in one of those forests the night before Overland West. But
yeah, that's a great spot. That's a great spot. And Jeff Kubiak, he builds trailers out in Oklahoma, and I had him on a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about a story of how he had caught some crabs out at Cape Lookout. It was a great story. We were laughing. We were sitting around the fire at Big Iron, and oh my gosh, it was probably one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. I've got to get him on here and have him tell that story so I can remember. Now, I guess this is coming out of the back end of your 60, how you've got it set up there with a fridge tilt slide. And
so it was fine until I lifted it, and then my wife couldn't get anything out of the fridge, and that's not acceptable. Not to be a complete chauvinist, but like, what if I've got my hands full trying to hold this awning up, and at the same time I need you to grab me a beer,
Yeah.
But yeah, DFG makes a great little fridge slide, the 45 right there. That's it changed it, I mean,
that's I've got a DFG slide myself. I love it. Mine is I did have their tilt slide, but the way that we pack everything around in there, when the front of the tilt went up, it seemed like I was having to rearrange everything. So I traded that off and got their regular slide that also has a cutting board in it, and I absolutely love it. But much like your wife, I couldn't get in the fridge after I did that, so I had to buy a folding stool where I can see up in my fridge. It's a pain, but I like it. Now, is this on the challenge here?
No, this is actually down in I think it's called Blackwater State Forest. That's right around Pensacola.
Very cool.
Yeah, that for just not long travel or anything, that thing, it works the back end around pretty well.
You're showing a little flex there, that's for sure. A little flex.
So just, so easy about it too. Like, doesn't even try.
That's cool. So
This was up in Auburn, Alabama, actually. There's this national forest there that's pretty sketchy, to be honest. But if you know the right spots to go, you can go and not get messed with by the meth heads. And that's where this is.
yeah.
This is right on the edge of the forest, actually. But I had just gotten, this may be the first or second time that I slept in that hard shell. I will have another hard shell there. I miss it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to end up with a trailer, and I'm just going to put my orange 3+ on my trailer, and then have a hard shell for when it's just me or my wife or something.
That's exactly the setup that I run. I've got a hard shell Free Spirit on top of mine, and got a fold out on my trailer, and I love it. I absolutely love the setup because I wanted to build our rigs where they were self-supportive, self-sustaining, where you could just take the rig out, have it by itself, or if you could take the trailer, set up a base camp or whatever you want to do, so you have the best of both worlds. But having that hard shell that's so easy to pop up, so easy to get down, especially when you're packing up, moving every day, it's so nice. So I totally get what you're saying there. I get what you're throwing out there. That's awesome. Now this is a beautiful spot here. I was looking at this earlier.
Yeah, that's so that's actually in Ocala National Forest down in Florida. We they hadn't done it in a year or so since all the COVID-19 stuff, but this gun company that Jim was, I'm not sure how Jim ended up becoming buddies with him, but it's a company called SLR Rifle Works. They make some really cool rails for ARs and AKs and just do all kind of different, upgrades, that kind of thing. Well, they had this thing twice a year called the Swamp Shoot, and you'd go down and basically they just have all this ammo. It was invitation only, but they had all this ammo, and you grab whatever appropriate magazine that you wanted, go walk up to one of the 5 or 6 church-style fold-out tables that just had weaponry all lined up. Grab one, throw it in, and go out to the line and let it rip. Well,
wow, very cool.
Oh, it was wicked. I shot probably the favorite thing I shot there was 11.5-inch short barrel Select Fire 308.
Wow, that's a long name for a gun.
It is. It is a thumper. That's a thumper.
That is cool.
But yeah, we went down there and did some camping and stuff while we were there too.
This looks like Arizona.
Yeah, that's Utah.
Utah, okay.
Yeah, that was maybe the first or second night. Not the first. That was first night outside of Moab when we were on the Backward Discovery route. That was before we got to Lockhart Basin. Yeah, because we still all look fresh and rejuvenated.
Super cool picture.
Yeah, that's some of my cohorts. Their fanciness.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes, that's in southern Utah. It was right through there. There's several mountain passes and that kind of thing. And at one point you get up to like 10,500 foot elevation. And we had just seen some snow, and this was the end of May. And I mean, I'm from South Alabama. That's just the craziest thing to me.
I hear you. That's happened to me too. In New Mexico, we went out to Albuquerque to visit some friends in May, and it snowed on us all the way to Amarillo. And I'm like, this isn't right. I just don't understand this.
Yeah.
But I can see the aspens there. That does not look like any picture I've ever seen of Utah. That is just, that's crazy how the terrain changes the higher you get. That's really cool.
Yeah, because we saw a bunch of mule deer up there, and I'd never seen mule deer before. And oh my God, I want to go back and kill one now.
They're big.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they are big.
So yeah, this is part of that trip that I was talking about with me, Derek, and Matt, and I've actually got a pretty cool video of the that Sprinter van fording a creek. That was, I mean, it was a good enough creek to where it was completely submerging my 33s on my Land Cruiser.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it rained the night before, and then we had to cross back over the creek, and
Yeah,
kind of interesting.
it's a beautiful spot here. That's a sure enough photogenic area there. I love that. That's so beautiful. I love the night shots.
Yeah, me too.
Especially of the orange tent. I think the orange tents look really cool at night.
They really do.
Love that.
It took a little bit to grow on me, but yeah, they do.
Yeah, super cool. And that's
the rally.
The challenge, the rally. So
the Overland Challenge.
The Overland Challenge, and we want to talk about the Overland Challenge because that's a big part of what you do, and a big part of who you are. So, but before we get into the Overland Challenge, let's stop and hear for a word from our sponsor, Artemis Overland.
The world changes daily around us. Change is inevitable. It's coming. Many things in life change, but some things do not. They're a rock, a constant, dependable, reliable, and safe. Artemis was founded upon a single idea: experiencing adventure and life outdoors with friends is a life well lived. We're here to provide your needs, to be a good environment for our employees, and to give back to our own community. We don't say this just to hear ourselves talk, or because it sounds good. It's our vision since day one. Our mission will never change, but our showroom, our website, what we offer to you will always be evolving to reflect who we are and always will be. Overlanders who are committed to serving Overlanders, being the best, bringing you the best reliability, service, gear, and friendship. The world may change around us, but we will not, as living this life alongside you as family can never be replaced.
I want to thank Aaron for sponsoring the show. Visit ArtemisOverland.com. Visit their showroom in Springfield, Missouri for all your overlanding, off-road, and outdoor needs. Super guy. Love dealing with him. He will treat you right, and he'll be a friend. So, Rich, tell us about the Overland Challenge. What is the Overland Challenge for those of us out there who have no idea what we're talking about?
So the Overland Challenge is something that we kind of put together. We just finished our fourth one, I think. I believe the fifth one is coming up in the fall. But Derek wanted to. Derek had done a couple of the other kind of competition style team building thing several years ago, and just thought it could be done a little better. And the first year we did it, it was in northern Alabama, and we actually just hit 2 different off-road parks. We'd originally planned on using the National Forest, and basically up until 3 days before the challenge, the Forest Service said that we were good to do that. Well, then, like I said, 3 days before, they were like, well, it's supposed to rain and we don't want people getting off the trail and getting stuck. So kind of threw a kink into things, but we worked through it, obviously. But so that happened, and then some later on, it went really well. It went really well. We had probably 15 or 18 teams the first year. Then we were at Appalachian Toyota Roundup up in Winrock and met some of the guys with Overland Experts, and they mentioned that they were needing a large event to fill one of the spots that they had open. And what's cool about with them is they're right there next to your national forest. So not only do you get the forest, but they have 3 properties that are right there in the vicinity too. So what we do, we take the teams, split them in fourths, and each team goes to a property half of the day. So part of it's, you go out and it's like geocaching kind of thing, collecting waypoints. Some of it's just different challenges. Like this past year, we had a trailer that was flipped, and you had to come in and get the trailer flipped back over and the truck out of the way. Like that kind of thing. Just stuff to make you think. That you and because typically it's no less than two vehicles per team, driver and navigator, and no more than 4. So 2 to 4 vehicles. If you don't figure out who is going to be the leader, you're gonna go ahead. You're gonna have problems pretty quick.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just fun to watch the dynamics of the different teams. You know what I mean?
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
And I've got a video that I pulled off your YouTube that shows the 2020 recap, and this may give everybody a little bit better idea about what this looks like that Rich is talking about. Check this out. No, I saw in this video and a couple of videos, it's not just driving. I mean, you actually have to get out and do some recovery. I saw guys with blindfolds having to set a tent up, negotiating different parts of a trail. It is a true test of skill. It's not just something where you just go out and camp and drive.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, those the goggles that you saw.
Yeah.
So Derek found those. Those are the drunk goggles.
No, and those I can't wear those. Those make me sick just looking at them. They're horrible.
I'd never played with them until this past month or so ago, however long it was. And wow,
yeah,
I'm super impressed. Like that. Oh my God, I don't. I mean, but it's one of those things. It never fails. We get into camp late, and we get in and we start chewing the fat and drinking beer, and you go to set up camp and you got a killer buzz. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you got to figure out how to get everything together.
Yeah,
with a solid buzz. That's kind of,
so it's reality. It's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Reality is practicing reality. I know exactly how those goggles are, because in what I do, we actually have several set of goggles and a golf cart, and we take kids who are in 9th grade put the goggles on and we sit in the passenger seat of the golf cart and have them drive around through a set of cones, and it is comical. I mean, it's comical, and it teaches them, how you can't drive when you're to a certain degree of alcohol, and being able to put a 10 on with those goggles on, I don't know. That is a test. That's a test.
It's definitely amusing. I can tell you that. Definitely amusing.
So a lot of the events that you have there, how many days does this go on?
So typically teams get in Thursday night, and then Friday morning everything starts. So Friday morning, Friday day, Saturday, and then the morning portion of Sunday.
Okay.
And then we have, ceremonies and everything about lunchtime, and then everybody's rolling by one or so.
Okay. And you split everybody up in groups of 2, so that way you don't have everybody in one single place, so everybody's not waiting to go, because I know a lot of the events are timed. And so you were talking about the awesome volunteers that you have for this event and how well it's ran. But tell us about the different things that somebody might have to do, what to expect if they go to this event.
Well, that is one cool thing about it. Like with the volunteers that we've got, they have to go through like a tread lightly style course. And it actually may be tread lightly. I'm not positive. But they go through something like that. So they know, full aware about, taking care of the land and that kind of thing. So that is one cool thing for sure. But between that, it's a killer time. We've got the past 3 years, or the 3 rallies, I would guess we've had return volunteers, like at least 15 or 20 that and they say they will keep coming back. So it's helpful having folks like that, that makes everything else a lot easier.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know more about the rally or anything like that, you can look up Southern Xpeditions. That's Southern, no E, with an expeditions.com. They also have Instagram and Facebook. All the information's on there. If you're the kind of guy who is into overland camping, off-road wheeling, whatever, this may be the event for you. If you are one of those guys who likes a challenge and you can't stand to lose, you might need to contact them and see if you want to go out there and see how good you are, because you're putting yourself up against some pretty skilled teams. A lot of really guys who have done this before. Like you said, you've got guys who are coming in that have done it before, and you've also got guys who are heavily sponsored. So these sponsors know that these guys know what they're doing. So you're putting yourself up against the best of the best, and it might be something that you might be interested in. Do you really see all walks of life? You see when we watch the video, you see the vehicles that don't look like they see much action off road. I mean, it looks like they're brand new, just like everything is just straight off the shelf and they brought it straight there, to the rig that's all beat to crap because they use it every single weekend. I'm sure you run the gamut to everybody who's there.
Yeah, it's funny because we're starting to add, a pro team, pro series. So that'll be a whole different classification. And that's where BF Goodwrench will be competing with their Jeeps. Them, and I know because BF Goodwrench, that's the title sponsor. Light Force is recently gotten in with us too, and I believe they're going to have a pro team as well. But that's always the team's to watch because they're going to have just ridiculously built trucks or Jeeps.
Right.
Or,
Right.
It's fun watching them.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
It's like driving a rental.
Yeah, when you've got these big sponsors with deep pockets, it really doesn't matter what you tear up or how hard you drive it, because as soon as you get back, they're going to fix it and build it, and the next year you're going to have a new one again. So it's a little bit different when you're coming from 1,000 miles away and you have to drive this rig home.
Oh yeah.
So it's it's a little bit different. So the mindset of people who are there maybe a little bit different, but that's cool that you're going to have different classifications,
right?
So that it'll be a little more evenly matched.
Yeah. So I mean, and two, the point isn't just to completely beat the piss out of your truck. I mean, we've got it set up to where it's an overall thing. Like there's certain things that we throw in there to prevent you from going too fast. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're not to win. You don't have to just destroy your truck.
Right.
But in the event that you do destroy your truck and you do win, who cares? Because first place typically gets about $10,000 worth of stuff. I mean, you can essentially take a stock truck and build it with the amount of gear that you win. So
that's cool. Well, I know the guy who led the team who won the last one in 2020.
Nice.
Visited with him a couple weekends ago and at the Big Iron Overland Rally in Kansas, and he talked about. He said it's unbelievable the amount of prizes that y'all give away at these things. He couldn't believe it. It was just incredible what they won when they won this thing, and he was like, after Friday they were having fun, and early Saturday morning they were like, hey, we may have a chance at this. So they they busted their butts and actually won it. And he said, man, we came home with. He said, I couldn't believe all the stuff we came home with. So you definitely reward the people for getting into this. That's pretty cool.
For sure.
I have to commend you for that. Now the registration for the spring rally is open, and I see that on the website.
Correct. Yes, it's live now. Well, I'm sorry, for fall.
For fall.
That was the one. I forget what date it was. I've been so busy with work, it's kind of just run together. But the fall one is the next one, and that'll be a good one to go to. Also, if you're one of the folks out there that you want to go just see what it's about, we've actually started selling just a pass to where you can come and hang out, because we're getting to where we're having more and more vendors. So like you can come touch all this stuff that you've been playing, that you've just looked at on the internet, and that kind of thing. So there's between that or just volunteering, or if you think you got the cojones and you want to put a team together and come see us in North Carolina.
Heck yeah. Well, I've got the video that is the promo video for 2021. So let's check out and see what they got planned.
And you guys are competing. The event starts in 2 minutes. Hey boys, luck.
That's so cool. I love all the different vehicles that are there. From the Jeeps, there was a Volkswagen in there. I'm just
So that
everything you can think of. Do what?
That Volkswagen. So that Touareg was a V10 twin turbo diesel with a center and rear locker.
Wow. No, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, it did surprisingly well. I mean, so that picture with the hood up, that's on the top side of Daniel. Daniel is one of the hardest hills out there. So we all drove up the backside of Daniel. Actually, that shot of my Forerunner trying to lay down, that's where that was. That was coming up the backside of Daniel. So you get up to the top of Daniel and you can go straight down. And that's what that dude did, was he drove down and made it all the way back up to the top. And it was something like, because of the body lift, when he cut his tires, his driver's side tire caught like a coolant line. And it didn't even break the coolant line. It just popped one of the little plastic inserts out and bled the coolant line all over on the ground. So we figured that out. I mean, it was pretty simple fix, but
yeah,
pretty awesome spot to watch the sunset too.
Well, that's super cool. Super cool. It looks like everybody there is really having a good time from shooting whatever that rubber band cannon out was to having the drunk goggles on and putting chairs and tents together I like the part where the Jeep pulls up on the wood and balances himself. And I mean, there's a little bit of everything. It's really cool, all that y'all put together. And now that you're doing the vendors and stuff and having it where people can come out and watch, it's like going to an outdoor rally and getting the best of both worlds. So you get a lot of entertainment and a lot of what you love about the outdoors. So it's a pretty neat event, turning into something really cool.
It's crazy how far it's come since, the early days. But yeah, we're Derek and he and Hudson are really as far as putting everything together, they do the majority of it. Jenna, Jim's wife, she is just the best. She is the scorekeeper, and I wouldn't want that job for my worst enemy. Oh my God.
I can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Yeah. She's such a good sport. She does it, man. She does it.
That is so cool. Well, once again, I want to encourage everybody to check out southernexpeditions.com. Check out Southern Expeditions and the Overland Challenge. Both have Facebook and Instagram pages. If you're interested in this, go give them a follow and keep up with what's going on there. And even if you don't want to compete and you want to get out and check it out, now they offer where you can actually go and watch the other guys compete and get some good, solid entertainment. Well, we're going to be wrapping it up here, but before we go, we're going to have our giveaway drawing. I was telling Rich I'm old school here, so I've got my Tupperware with all my little names on the little pages here, and we're going to give away some Wera tools. Wera tools is coming. We've got the Midland MXT 400. You got to have some radios to be able to communicate with everybody, especially out on stuff like the Overland Challenge. You want to have good communication. And Midland, they sent me a T-shirt, so I'm wearing that. Hope you're seeing this, Midland. But anyway, we're gonna draw 3 names, mainly because the last time we had a giveaway, I couldn't get in touch with the person who won. So I'm gonna draw this is going to be like a beauty competition. I'm going to draw a second runner-up, a first runner-up, and then a winner. And if the winner does not contact me or does not respond to my message tomorrow, then I will be contacting the next one, and then down to the next one. We'll get you your stuff, but I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm not looking in there. Not looking in there. I practiced this before we started. So here we go. The second runner up. Jacob Beckett. Jacob Beckett. I'm gonna write that down. Jacob Beckett. You are the second runner up. Here we go. We're gonna draw the first runner up. Here we go. We're gonna draw the first runner up, and the first runner up. If the winner does not claim his prize, you will be the winner. Fenrir Outdoors. I'm gonna write that down because I'm old school and I've got a pad here. And here we go. And the grand prize winner for all the prizes is I don't know the previous two, so maybe I know this person. Here we go. I do know this guy, Jeff Felkins. Jeff Felkins, you are the winner. I guarantee you, I'm gonna get in touch with him tomorrow because he we talk all the time, and he may be listening to the show right now. So if you know Jeff Felkins, send him a message right now and say, "Hey, you're the biggest winner that we've had all year. I appreciate you being involved, and we'll get you your stuff to you, Jeff. I appreciate you." Rich, thanks for being on here, man. I appreciate you being.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
being a guest on the show. It's been fun.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Well, I want to definitely try to get everybody to your website. I'm going to try to get out there here one of these days and see the Overland Challenge. It interests me a lot, like the Sasquatch. You know, it's something that I've never been a part of, something I didn't even know existed until More Expo. And I'm pretty excited to know about this, visit with you about it, and then get out there and see it. I encourage people to check it out because it's something different. It's not what you're used to, and get out of your comfort zone and check it out. Don't go to the same events every year. Go check something new out. This may be something that might interest you. And Rich, once again, I appreciate you. One of my Southern brothers from South Alabama. I'll be down there in a couple weeks. I can't wait to get down there to Gulf Shores and kick my feet up with a big cigar on the beach and enjoy some South Alabama weather. Hey, we appreciate you being on the show tonight. If you were here, we really appreciate you being here. And if you weren't here, you should have been here because it was a blast. I'm the Professor, and these are my friends.